What's up, guys? Mason the Rock Henderson here, and this is Legends of Tomorrow, Season 2, Episode 1, Out of Time. What a great way to start this season! It's brilliant! I don't know, I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, what a great start to the season. You've got so many interesting things going on. So let's talk about it. First of all, I wanted to say, sorry this is taking so long to come out. Missed all of the shows last week, trying to catch up, so... We ended the first season with Rex Tyler, one of the possible members of Justice Society of America, coming back from the future to warn them about getting back on, going to 1942 apparently, and the fact that they would all die if they did. So we open up with them sort of... It was an interesting little way to introduce a new character, because, I don't know, he just kind of came out of nowhere, this Professor Haywood guy. Who knows where he's from? But he comes running into Oliver's office in Star City, tells him, I know what happened to your friends. And so it's just like, oh, what are you talking about? Who are these legends that you're talking about? So they go find the Wave Rider in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Apparently he got hit by an atomic bomb in 1942. Mick Rory is there in stasis inside of the Wave Rider, so they're listening to him tell the story of how this all happened. And it was very interesting. You know, you start off, apparently they were in France, and they were trying to keep the King of France and his wife, they were trying to make sure that they continued to make the son that they had. I don't know. But pretty much what they've been doing is what they showed us at the beginning. They've been going through time, they've been seeing these anomalies that they've been trying to stop. So it's a very interesting way to open it up. It's a good little example of what they've been doing. Really liked the opening scene. You know, it was just good action, some funny moments, and kind of sets up the rest of the season. I really like that. So on top of that, they leave from there, and all of a sudden they're talking about where to go next. And all of a sudden the ship starts shaking. It's a timequake, which is the first time they've ever heard about a timequake before. Apparently what happens is there's such a big anomaly that it causes a timequake. It just ruptures so much of time that it physically shakes the ship. And they find out that apparently New York got nuked in 1942, 3 years before the atomic bomb was even created. They also find out that Damien Darhk is involved with it. So you got a little bit of other characters from the DC Arrowverse coming into play. And you've got some interesting stuff going on. They have to go back and kidnap Albert Einstein because apparently he went missing, and they think that's what caused, you know, the Nazis stealing Einstein is what caused them to find the ability to make the nuke. So really interesting little setup you've got going, and slowly you start to realize exactly what's going on. You know, you've got them. They finally kidnap Einstein, which the scene where Rip Hunter is like taking on all of the Nazis and just like steals the one guy's gun and just he's a badass. I can't deny he's a major badass. So yeah, just really fun to watch the action scenes in this episode. So they kidnap Einstein, but they still New York is still bombed by the Nazis. I don't know why I couldn't find the words there, but it's still bombed by the Nazis. So it's kind of like, okay, why? What happened? Well, it turns out they actually kidnapped Einstein's ex-wife, who was also a physicist, and used her to make the nuclear bomb. So now we kind of get that, okay, we tried to change it, they've got a backup plan in place, so we need to go fix it again. So they go back, they save her. We have a few tense moments between Sarah and what's his name? Ray. I'm trying to remember these names. It's been so long since I've seen any of these characters. I'm trying to re-remember their names. But yeah, Sarah and Ray, because Sarah wants to go kill Damien Darhk for what he did to Laurel. Ray stops her, and so they have a little bit of an argument. Whenever they go find Damien Darhk with the bomb, she goes straight for him, even though everybody else is trying to stop the bomb. Ray can't stop it with his suit, so they just sort of get Einstein and his ex-wife out of there before they can be hurt. And then they have to go stop the nuke from destroying New York by submarine. So now you kind of get where it's going. You know, they dive down to the ocean. You can see how the ship ended up being hit by a nuke. And it's very it was a very emotional final scene too, because you just get this sense that this is what they do. They put their lives on the line to save history, to save New York from being blown up in 1942. They're going to sacrifice the Wave Rider. Very intense moment. Just you've got the emotional music swelling. You've got just this sense of urgency because you feel like this could be it. Like, what if they all actually died? And then Rip Hunter actually has this little thing in place where he sends them throughout time. It's called Time Scatter. Sends all of them throughout time except for Mick Rory because he was injured. Puts Mick Rory in stasis, and then it's unclear what happened. It's kind of a sense that maybe he went down with the ship, but I don't know. That just doesn't seem likely to me. It doesn't seem like that's what happened. Maybe we'll find out what happened later on. Maybe he actually did stay on the ship, and maybe he's no longer. Who knows? Maybe he's actually dead. That would be crazy. After all this time, it's like, oh, we got to go find Rip. We got to find out where he is. We got to help him. And then it turns out he stayed on the ship whenever it was hit with the nuke, and that's where he's been this entire time. That would be very, very heartbreaking, but also a huge twist. But yeah, so that's pretty much where we left it. Professor Haywood decides to stay with the team. He knows where the rest of the team is because he's been following the history books, and so he can see where everybody is. So they go back and they get the entire team back. Rip Hunter has one final message for them, telling them, "You are the guardians of time. I believe in you. I know you can do it." So that's kind of where it leaves off. And then they have these two final scenes that I feel like just kind of sets up for the rest of the season and got me really excited because it goes to Damien Dark on the Nazi submarine after what happened, after the nuke hit the Wave Rider and it failed. And there's one of the Nazis saying, that was our last nuke. Now you got to make us another one. And he's just like, oh, my benefactor is not interested in that anymore. We have other plans. He's like, well, I don't see your benefactor anywhere. Pulls out a gun, and all of a sudden you see red lightning start flying through and breaking everybody's necks. I'm just like, what is going on? All of a sudden, Reverse Flash Eobard Thawne is there and pulls off the mask and looks back at him. I'm just like, yes! Yes! Brilliant! As soon as that happened, I was so excited. This got me so excited for this season because we know in The Flash, so far, we know that because Barry went back in time and changed stuff, now Reverse Flash went back, killed his mom, but still had the ability to travel through time. He wasn't stuck there in that time. So now it looks like he's actually the time pirate that they've been looking for. The one that's been going through and actually changing some stuff, giving them materials that they don't have. This is who it's been, it looks like, I think. Now maybe this is just the first of what he's doing in time. But it seems like that's kind of what they're saying, is that there's been somebody going around changing time. This looks like it could be who it is. So, very, very interested to see where this is going to go. If Reverse Flash is actually going to be the main bad guy for this season, that's very interesting, because now you've got them facing off against the Speedster in all these time periods. How is that going to work? So, yeah, I'm really, really excited for what's going to happen this season. And then on top of that, like I said, the other ending is they find a way to keep Einstein and his ex-wife protected. And so they're about to leave, and then all of a sudden, the Justice Society of America flies in, just like, halt, we need to take you in for questioning. So likely that's going to be introduced next season. We're going to find out a bit more about them and what they're doing, what their plan is. But yeah, I mean, it's a great setup for a second season. And the only, I really don't have any big problems with this episode. I think the one question I'm asking, though, is it looks like when the nuke hits the Wave Rider, it looks like it just blows it up. So I do have to wonder, how is it completely functioning after all these years of sitting at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean? How did it survive that blast? I guess that is the one question I have to ask. And, if it survived, that's fine. But I feel like it should be damaged enough to where it couldn't actually go back in time right at this moment. It feels like there should be I don't know, something else involved, some other obstacle they have to overcome. But it's a small problem, but it is something to think about. Like, is it just that powerful to where it is able to survive a nuke? And if so, was Rip Hunter still on the ship when it was hit? And if he was, then where is he now? Anyway, long story short, good episode. And I think going forward, obviously, like I said, the Justice Society of America seems to be the next big thing, but it also seems like Reverse Flash may be the main bad guy. They're kind of setting up. I mean, they were already setting up that Rip Hunter wasn't going to be a part of the team anymore. You know, he was showing Jackson how to do stuff around the ship, and I kind of like the one scene where Jackson's just like, "Really, you're having me do all this stupid stuff on the ship? Like, why?" And all of a sudden, he starts asking him questions about the ship that he should have no idea about. You know, like Time Master stuff. And he's just answering right at the top of his head, like, no problem. I'm just like, that's why he's been doing this. So it was a nice little touch there. But yeah, like I said, they have been setting up since the beginning of this episode that he wasn't going to be a part of the team anymore. So I wonder if that's going to be a whole season thing, or if that's just going to be there are a few episodes where he's not involved, and then they're going to find him and bring him back in. I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to this season. A lot to look forward to. Really good action. Yeah, it's a good show. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? What are your predictions for this season? Let me know. We can talk about it, discuss, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Legends of Tomorrow review, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.